Yes, you want to revisit the relationship, but you don't want to go back and rehash all the problems. Again, you don't want to fight the same fight. You don't want to get in that space where you have to entrench yourself in a position that you've already been in.
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Don Rumor Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Okay, let's start the astrology. We're going to start out, as always, with the moon. This is for the week of July 14th through the 21st. Now, we're going to have, on the 17th, the last quarter moon. And as we have always said, the last quarter is when we celebrate our successes and then start to turn away. Now, to understand what we're celebrating, this quarter moon is in Aries at 18 degrees. Now, we have to step back, okay, last quarter. So we go all the way back to March 31st of 2022. It's in Aries at 11 degrees. This is a rather long step back. It's more than normal. Okay, so that's when you set those intentions, March 31st of 2022. So look back in your journals, your notebooks, wherever you've been keeping track. That's the project we're talking about. The first quarter moon was on December 29th of 2022 at 0 degrees, 48 minutes of Aries. That's when we did all the work on that project. Then the full moon came in October 17th of 2024 at 24 degrees of Aries. That's when we saw everything and we made changes that needed to be made. And now we're celebrating its success. It is complete. And then we're going to turn away and look for the next new moon in Aries. Now, it's always important to understand when it's in Aries, what does that mean? Well, we can solve problems faster than normal. It'll be important to try to slow down. Now, this moon, the last hour or two, is actually moved into the sign of Taurus. And what does that do? Well, your safety and security are going to be in the foremost of your mind. The need to be stable. It won't be easy. For those couple of hours, you need to learn to accept the changes as part of life. Find your own self-respect. Don't seek things through material ways. Okay, so let's talk about the void of course. Void of course, we have a couple of them. The first one is on the 15th at 10:09. when it leaves Pisces, and then it goes into the sign of Aries at 9:33. So we have an 11-hour void of course there. And remember, we never start new projects. We finish up everything that needs to be finished, but don't start anything new. Then on July 17th, that's when we have the quarter moon at 5:37 p.m. All times are Phoenix, so it's Mountain Standard. It leaves the sign of Aries at 5:37 p.m. and it moves into Taurus at 1 a.m. on the next day. So that's, dinner time, and the rest of the evening, you don't want to be doing anything. Resting is always good. Then on July 19th at 11:43 in the evening, it's going to leave Taurus. This is a rather short one. And then at 3:22 a.m. on the 20th, it moves into Gemini. On the 21st at 12:57, it will leave Gemini and then move into Cancer the next day at 5:26 in the morning a.m. So we have some more than just a few minutes on each one of these. The shortest one here is about 4 hours. So take notes of those and make sure you don't start projects that you don't want to repeat. Now, let's see what's in your sign. Okay, Aries, Saturn and Neptune continue to dance in your sign. If Saturn becomes more prominent, you'll be able to channel your dreams into something meaningful and grounded. If Neptune is dominating, you may feel overwhelmed or struggle with the clarity. This conjunction is inspired. It can inspire. It can be profound and spiritual or creative dedication, especially with healthy boundaries. The question's been raised is, how do you figure out who's leading in this dance? It changes all the time. The only way to actually know that is to do a chart and take a look at what degree each planet is in. And then you need to also look at your own chart. I would say Neptune will be leading because it goes into Aries before Saturn. However, Neptune has a retrograde, so it will move back behind Saturn at one time. Neptune also began its retrograde on July 4th. Saturn didn't begin until the 13th. They will both move back into the sign of Pisces later this year. It'll be a time for introspection, reassessing, especially regarding responsibilities and balance between ambition and spiritual surrender. Having said that, although Saturn goes into retrograde second, it comes out the earliest. It's a much shorter retrograde than Neptune. Neptune's retrograde lasts all the way till December 10th. Whereas Saturn comes out of it on November 27th. So, what does that mean? Neptune's retrograde is in the sign of Aries, and it never hits Pisces. Saturn, however, will go back into Pisces and then return to Aries. So we will feel these shifts because these are our outer planets. And anytime they change signs, the energy really changes. Venus continues to square the moon, and it creates a bit of confusion, whether you meet your emotional needs or express affection. Are you longing for love and struggling with romantic choices? Some of you may be feeling unbalanced in relationships as a result of those choices. Dawn, what do you have?
Let's see what we got for Aries this week. Spirit and Universe, please tell me what is in store for Aries. What does Aries need to know for their highest and best good? All right, no jumpers this week. The one thing on the bottom of the deck that is key importance is this Six of Pentacles. That's your environment this week, Aries. And when the Six of Pentacles is there, this is a week of balance. You're going to find the universe and the energy around you, again, your environment, is going to have a very balanced effect. You're going to feel chill. You're going to feel you're not going to feel a lot of high energy. You're not going to feel a lot of low energy either, which is good. And you're going to find a propensity to reflect. So don't be surprised if this week is a good reflection week, a week where you feel like, maybe you're looking at your childhood, maybe looking at good old times, maybe reconnecting with friends, and maybe even reconnecting with families. If you've had some family issues, this may be a good time to maybe reach out to family and say, you know what, it's been a while, just checking in. You don't want to get anything fired up, but at the same time, it would be nice to rekindle. And that's the energy around your environment. So use that energy to your advantage again to maybe start mending some fences. Now, your energy this week specifically is an Eight of Pentacles. And I love an Eight of Pentacles because an Eight of Pentacles is focusing on trying to understand. And I like that along with that Six, as we spoke about, because with that Eight of understanding, that Eight, you are again reflecting. As you reflect, you're understanding what went wrong. How did this happen? How did we go there? How did we get to a place that maybe is disjointed or disconnected. And how can I build that bridge? Remember, it's all about building bridges in this sense, because you're learning, you're trying to understand. And if anything, you're trying to make sure that if indeed you can reconnect, that you won't make that mistake again or can't. And again, sometimes it's like, I don't even know what I did. But because you didn't know what you did, sometimes it gives you a propensity to not want to understand because you're afraid of what you might find out. But this is a time to do that. Use the source of energy to your advantage. It's interesting here because this is the grass is greener card. It's a 5 of Pentacles, and you're getting lots of Pentacles this week. But the 5 of Pentacles is that it has 2 different meanings for me. Okay, the one meaning that's overarching to all readers is usually this, the grass is always greener on the other side kind of deal. But this is that don't go back. Okay, and so what I suggest here is, yes, you want to revisit the relationship, but you don't want to go back and rehash all the problems. Again, you don't want to fight the same fight. You don't want to get in that space where you have to entrench yourself in a position that you've already been in, and it caused the problem. But you do want to be able to have that open, positive, balanced energy that says, I want to have an understanding so we can move on in our relationship. Very different feeling. Okay, so again, we're not going to relitigate the problem. That's long since gone. You want to find a way to move beyond the problem, and that's the good part about that card. The next thing here is a Page of Swords, and that's you. I love this because it confirms what we're talking about, and that is you seeing things differently, understanding and getting a better viewpoint, getting a better understanding and changing the way in which you're seeing things, a new enlightenment, shall we say. And that may come from that conversation with the family or the friend who again, you didn't understand their point of view, or you couldn't get it because maybe they shut down before they gave it to you or whatever. But this gives you a clearer understanding and makes you realize, oh man, there was so much more there that I didn't understand. And then we have a Knight. I like this, a Knight of Wands. So this is that healing. This is that working. This is that new healing, that new working on the relationship and rebuilding and moving forward, moving beyond. Again, because we're not going to go back and litigate. We're not doing that. We're going to move beyond. And then the last card is yet another Knight. I'm telling you, you're getting Knight cards like crazy. And that makes sense, again, because you're doing this new education of yourself and the way in which you see things, the way in which you're learning from other people, the new way of moving forward, and then in toward the new happiness, because this is a Knight of Cups. So there is a whole lot of activity. It's a week of activity. It's a week of learning, of growing, of expanding, and most importantly, of reconnecting. Make sure you use this week to ensure that you heal. This is also a very healing energy, a healing week, and that goes back to the energy of your overall space this week, and that's the balance. Because when you are balanced, a balanced you will be a healthier, happier you, and therefore a more productive and so hopefully a more successful you. And that's what I got, Miss Bonnie.
Well, that fits with what I was saying, because we've got so many retrogrades going on. And when a planet's in retrograde, we turn and we look back. And it's also a time where people come back. And doesn't mean you have to accept that, but you can forgive, heal, and move forward.
Yeah.
Fits like a glove.
And it's interesting. I've done millions, well, not millions, because that's an exaggeration, but I've done a lot of readings. But I really haven't seen 3 Knights in the same reading. That just never happens. And
3?
And again, 3.
I thought there were only 2.
No, Knight of Cups, Knight of Rods, and Knight of Swords. So,
Knight. Okay, I wrote down Page.
No. Oh, I'm sorry, Page.
That's a lot of action.
No, you're right. You're right. That's a Page. My bad. Page of Swords, Knights and Pages. Yeah, my bad. Yep.
Okay.
But for me, when I did that page, it felt like Knight energy. So, and that happens often. But the key to that though is so much energy, and so much newness, so much passion to create this new synergy that comes along. And so I'm excited for Aries. Take the gauntlet, lay it down, and then take that olive branch and pick it up and try to make peace.
Make peace and heal, move forward.
Absolutely. And again, I believe once they do that, the productivity level through the roof and success will soon follow that too. So as I'm pointing, you're like, what the? I don't know what that is. But anyway, it's all good in the end. With that, folks, we are Cards and Constellations, Bonnie and Don. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Show us the love by looking to the right hand of your screen. On the lower right hand, you'll see that little subscribe little icon. Click on that icon. It makes it easier. Whichever channel you are on, then go and look for the other one, which is, again, Your Love Goddess with Miss Bonnie, Sonoran Mystic Tarot with mine, and Cards and Constellations. Check out each of the channels and subscribe to each, and that would ensure that you get something from us, letting you know we've either posted or gone live. And with that said, we're going to let you go. Hit that message button, by the way. Share with us. Let us know if this resonates with you and and how it works in your world. And we do respond to our messages, by the way. We do not ignore them. So if you message us, we will respond. With that said, this is Don and Bonnie from our families and us to you and to yours. Have an amazing week. Love, light, and blessings. Have a great one. Bye-bye.